welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a couple of couch potatoes in love that love watching some Castlevania.
Yes, we do.
So this is Castlevania Season 4, Episode 3. If you want all of our reactions to this series, we have a playlist down below in the description of this video. Also get a link to Patreon and get early ad-free access, up to a month early ad-free access there, or more, depending on which tier you sign up for. You can also get our full watch-along reactions there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foxy and her happy snorts.
Oh, let's do it again.
Who's a pretty girl then? Who's a pretty girl? That's right. You are.
You're never too much of a monster to play with dolls.
I'm going to see Isaac. No! I'm not taking it with me.
He just looks really at peace. Very happy with this demon army. Ugh, blackberries.
Blackberries are good.
Seeds get stuck in my teeth all the time.
May I ask you a question?
Of course.
What are we doing here?
That is a very broad question. Be more specific. Say.
I do not need to tell you what night creatures are, Forge Master.
You can call me Isaac. Would you like a berry?
Case in point, I am a night creature. I eat blood.
And
Perhaps I simply don't understand your will.
you have us burying people. The city was littered with dead. Too many of them were too decayed to be converted by magic. So they need to be buried. You are not a fool. Insects and diseases would breed. And I would remind you that everyone here was a victim. They deserve a burial.
Good job, Isaac.
Why do you have us going against our nature?
Your nature is food. You believe your tools of destruction only because this is how your kind have always been used. Have a berry.
Do it, you must obey. It's his will.
Memories.
We will be moving on soon. After we're gone, the city will be here for people to find and make homes in. Would you like another berry?
Of course he does.
I think so.
Take one. You see, you can use a hammer to build a house. Or crack a skull. You are returned to Earth as tools, and I will use tools as I wish.
So many memories.
I can also choose, in the end, to recognize that you are not tools at all. For no tool would taste a berry and remember the time in its first life when it encountered them. But one day, hell will be emptied and its doors will rattle in the wind. What? Through my hand, God lifts the damned from hell in his mercy to enact their penance on the earth as my soldiers.
Damn.
Should their penance on earth be eternal too?
I do not know.
Neither do I. Have I changed? Go on, say something. I killed you, old wizard. You must have an opinion on that. No? I have killed many people, old wizard, for many reasons. But killing you felt just. It felt like repairing the world a little. I liked that feeling. For a long time, I was content to be the knife that others wielded. But lately, old wizard, I have felt more like the hand than the knife. My whole life, I have reacted to things, rarely acted. So, yes, I have changed. I have agency in this world. I can create futures. And happily, I could create a future and end yours at the same time. God is good.
Oh, damn.
What are you doing? And who might you be?
Do you not remember me?
You do not look memorable.
Oh.
Then, come daylight, you can wriggle in your little coffin with disappointment. As I do not wish to hear your voice again until my own task is complete.
Oh.
Good job, Isaac.
Allow this one to call me again
Ooh.
and go to sleep.
Fuck you.
Spit it out, Morana. Directly say what you're thinking or you'll tie yourself up in knots.
Is there a swift and merciful way for us to take control of all the designated territory between the castle and the sea?
You mean snap my fingers and it's all done? No, of course not.
Of course not. It will be hard fought, mile by mile, right?
Well, let's not make it sound desperate.
But it won't be simple.
No.
There will be suffering.
It's war, Morana. There's always suffering.
It's not war. There are no two sides to this. It's a rolling invasion and entrapment of hundreds of thousands of humans. This is going to be a horrifying mess that we will be dealing with to the end of our days. And it will cause more
Suffering than history has yet seen.
She's not wrong.
You want to know what I think?
always.
I think that whatever we achieve it together. You and me. Carmilla throws a crazy plan at us, and it's us who make it work.
Or put another way, we make it work despite Carmilla. But we've been out here for weeks, away from her and her madness, and I'm telling you... What's happening?
It's an attack.
At dawn, they know what we are.
Yep.
I need to get to my trunk.
That one? You never opened that. What's in it?
Ooh.
Day armor.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a badass outfit.
Yeah. She looks awesome.
Oh!
Oh my god.
Yeah, you should really be scared. Oh!
Yeah, just run.
Yep. Yeah. It's a terrible way to go. Yeah, I was feeling the horse. We're gonna die too. Y'all should be running like different directions.
Yeah.
Far, far away. Oh. That was badass.
I did disagree about the war.
There's no battle I can't win when I put my back into it.
And I have you and your mind beside me.
Yeah, but she's never gone up against Belmont and Sypha.
I just fought.
Fucking farmers saw the fear in their eyes. Not fear of dying. Fear of not having fought. Fear of not saving their people.
And we in the middle of a fucking field. A hopeless battlefield.
Except this whole land is nothing but fields and forests.
But they did it anyway. We never stop.
Victory condition is just fighting and holding the whole insane structure of her empire together.
Until I die on the beach.
And we'd never see each other again.
I'm sorry.
I want to be wrong.
Do I want this? Do we want this? When we can do so much else together.
Sisters, Hector is finally ready to start making night creatures.
Come home.
It begins.
It has begun.
There you are.
What does it do?
Getting a good look at our fine city?
I'd rather get a good look at your underground court.
Is it a holy relic?
I want to be certain you can be trusted first.
That's good, because we want to make sure we can trust you first.
Yep.
You forget who you're speaking to.
We'd like some time to look around. You can find us again later, I'm sure.
But we have important matters to discuss.
Saving the city, restoring the throne, imposing order.
We have important matters to discuss too. In the meantime, we're going to take a good long look at how you failed to do any of that so far.
Ouch.
Whether we're going to choose to help you.
Good for you.
She does need our help. But I am sick of being a big player in someone else's story.
Walk away.
Isaac's scene was my favorite one in this. They're usually my favorite scenes. And Isaac went from sort of like being the person who's kind of always asking the questions and seeking out the answers to then being the one that is providing them. And, you know, imparting that wisdom. And like, that's another part of how he's changed. You know, and as he said, he's now kind of more in control of his own destiny. And he realizes that he can shape the world how he wants it. And he doesn't have to just do it because he had served, I guess, served for so long and been a tool. You know, a greatly appreciated tool of Dracula's, but like, you know, a tool. He didn't know anything else after Dracula left. You know, he had no guidance. And so he just said, okay, my dream will now be Dracula's dream and fulfilling that. But now I think he's finally like, you know, realizing that he can have his own dream for this world and shape it the way he sees fit.
I found so interesting the moment with the berries and how he used them really as the tool of his lesson. But how the night creature takes it and their first response is memories.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we always look on the night creatures and kind of assume that when they're transformed that is it. Like the essence of whoever they were is gone, and clearly it's not. And then on top of that, the fact that, you know, Isaac uses something so simple, which kind of shows what a brilliant teacher he is and how intelligent he is, because he uses the berries to say, you're used to blood and gore, but look, you tried something different and you didn't die. Maybe you kind of liked it. And I just thought that whole sequence was so well done. And Isaac's journey of just, you know, as you kind of laid out where he's come from to where he is now, makes him a fascinating character.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I don't know if I would like him, but I'd be intensely curious to converse with him.
Oh, for
and
sure.
just like pick his brain. Like Sypha and Belmont, I'm like, God, I would love to be friends with them. I'd love to like go to happy hour with them. Like I think they're so cool and like I like them. I like them as human beings. Isaac, I'm like, I don't know. But I would love to pick his brain. Like I kind of look on him as I would like a library. Like there's just endless intelligence in there that I would love access to. Some of it I probably am not going to like, but I'm still curious about it.
I guess I didn't have like a side that I was on. Maybe I knew more about Morana and except their names and Striga. So like we're more familiar with their characters at least than as opposed to like just the nameless farmers and the people that we haven't really spent any time with. But man, when she put on that armor, that was so badass. And like, yeah, I was definitely rooting for her in that moment, and just to see her, I don't know, go to work and yeah. So that was cool. I mean, those were the two vampires that I cared the least about going into this, and it's still, you know, it's Carmilla and Lenore are still my, you know, the ones that I like the most or like the most invested in. But this was a good one for those two. Again, kind of like with Isaac marrying that, like, is this really what they want? It was a good episode, and they sprinkled in a little bit of action in there, which was nice.
So is it Striga who was wearing the armor?
I believe so.
Okay. Because I will confess I did not remember their names at all. So you already were better than I was. But when she put on that armor, it was one of the very few times that I was like, oh, I kind of hope they make this live action one day. Like, generally speaking, I don't have that feeling because the animation is so well done and everything. But that, and that isn't to say that the scene with the armor wasn't well done. It's more that it was so well done that I wanted to see it live as well. Like there are moments throughout this where like, as I watched, I'm sort of like casting actors in my head for like the real life version or the live action version. But generally speaking, I'm not really hoping for the live action. The animated is just, it's elevated material in a way that I'm like, it doesn't need to be adjusted, and I don't necessarily want anyone to touch it. But that scene, you could just, like you could feel the almost Game of Thrones-esque moment of her coming out with this awesome armor, taking on all of these villagers. And I don't know, it was just, it had the oomph that I was like, ooh, this would be really great live action. I also loved just the line of dialogue that Striga had when she was talking about the fear in the villagers. And it wasn't the fear of dying, it was the fear of not fighting. And I think, I don't know, that use of language just kind of put a spotlight on something that made me think of it in a little bit of a new way. Because you always think of like the desire to protect that might lead you into battle. You think of like belief in a cause and the need and all of that. But usually when I think of the fear, I think of the fear of dying in battle. Like the fear is associated with the risk that you're taking rather than it being associated with the risk that you didn't take. Like the thought of not fighting being far scarier than dying in battle. And I know that conceptually I've had that thought on some level, but they delivered the line in such a way that it just kind of like turned that concept over in my brain a little bit and just let me see it from, I don't know, a fresh angle just by how they said it.
And then furthering the theme of choice, we get finally Sypha and Belmont scene where, okay, they might not have been like serving somebody else, but they were serving was like their sense of duty to like, you know, like do the right thing and to protect people. Even people that like they didn't know, had never met before. And, you know, if someone came to them for help like that, they just felt like they were an obligation to help because that's what heroes do. That's what you're supposed to do when you're a good person. Someone asks for help and you help them. And this one, it's like No, like they're taking control of it, and it's like, okay, we will decide when the time is right to help out. Like, we're gonna, instead of getting sucked into someone else's like, battle and everything. And like, I mean, look what, again, like kind of what Belmont said, like, look how it's turned out for you so far. You haven't done a great job of it. Cause they're not Belmont and Sypha. That's probably why. But yeah, it was just, I liked that theme throughout each of the different scenes that we saw.
From each individual scene to the overriding arc of it was really well laid out. And on the Sypha and Belmont scene, it was just interesting to me, the sense of entitlement that the villager had.
Yeah.
That like Belmont and Sypha's reputation preceded them in such a way that like they were obligated to help somehow just by existing and being there. And the whole like, well, you can't see our court because we don't trust you, but you have to help and you have to help now. And you have to get right to this. I did like the fact that Belmont and Sypha was like, you forget who you're talking to. But it's not even that sense of like, I'm all that, like who you're talking to, as much as like, you forget what you're doing. You are asking for help. That's not how you ask for help. Like, saying, I don't trust you, but you owe us this here now thing that we need from you. Like, on what planet is that really going to get you what you want, or fly with another person to just be like, I don't trust you, but you owe me this, so deliver. like try that the next time you want something from your parents or your spouse, and just see how far it gets you. And so I loved how they kind of checked her and was just like, look, you've suddenly forgotten what you're doing here, what we're doing here, that we don't owe you anything. And also we don't trust you. So we're going to look around and we'll get back to you. No, but you have to do this thing now. No, we're going to look around and we'll get back to you. It kind of seems like they were, I don't know, taking control of their own business now. And I liked seeing them come into their power that way. Like, we've seen them come into their power in terms of like being good fighters, coming into power like in their relationship and allowing themselves to be romantically involved. But this was the first time when they kind of came into it as their own bosses. And that was really, really nice to see.
Let us know what you thought about this down below in the comments. And if you want early ad-free access on Patreon, there's a link down below in the description of this video for that. You can get up to a month or more, depending on which tier you sign up for. And you can also see our full watch-along reactions in case there was something in this reaction that you didn't get to see, that you wanted to see. You can go ahead and check that out. Thanks so much for checking out our reaction for Castlevania Season 4, Episode 3, but just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.